Hi everyone, this is Attorney Lilian and I am here today with your Tuesday tip. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about the top 3, okay? Top 3 things that you really need to have for you to be successful in your green card application. Okay? It doesn't matter if your green card is through marriage. It doesn't matter if it's through your child. It does not matter if it's through the Liberian Green Card Act. All these 3 things apply no matter what type of situation you have. Okay? So the final thing, right? I did say top 3. So the third key to a successful green card application is, if you haven't guessed by now, is to ace your interview. That's really the key, right? If you know your immigration history and you know that's not going to affect your case, you know that you have all your documentation in order because you made sure that you looked at what the requirements are for your country, all your documentation that's not English translated, your divorce is valid, everything is good to go with your documentation. You sent in all the required documentation. Now it's time for an interview. And this is where your case can go off the rails. This is really, if you have everything else, your interview is really the place where you can either, can really make the difference between you getting your green card and you not getting your green card. Okay, so acing your interview is the final key to basically getting your green card. Now, if you are getting your green card, if you're applying for a green card in the US based on marriage, please go ahead and watch my video on marriage-based interviews, because I go into detail the type of questions that you can be asked and just how to prepare for that interview. Know that when you are in your interview session, the officer is not asking you a question that they don't know the answer to. Most of the time, they're asking you questions to basically confirm what they know or what you have told them. So, for example, I had an interview where literally we had our documentation in place because my client had an interaction with the police. And she was in court. We got the court documents. We got it notarized. Like, we got all the documents that's required for someone that was that had a court case. We get to the interview. The officer gets to the question on the forms about criminal history. And she, of course, we already talked about it. You have to disclose if you have any criminal history. Even if it was dismissed, you still have to disclose it. You still have to let the officer know. And then the officer will just be like, oh, it's not a big deal because it was dismissed. So in this situation, again, client tells the officer what's going on. The officer finished the interview and basically looked at my client and said, oh, do you know what a rap sheet is? And my client sitting there not knowing what a rap sheet is. And for those that don't know, a rap sheet is basically a FBI printout of all your interactions with the police, with the court system, with Border Patrol. Like, they have all of those things. So when you get your biometrics into appointment and they do your fingerprints, the reason that they're doing that is so they can run a FBI background check on you. And the officer had the printout of the results and basically showed it to my client and said, it's good that you told me about your criminal history and that you presented the documentation because I already knew. Right? So the officer already knew that my client had this history, already knew what happened with the case. So when she was asking questions about the case, she already knew the answer. She was just waiting to see if my client would be honest about it or if she wouldn't. But again, she's my client, so she knew that it was going to come up. She knew how to answer the questions, and luckily for her, she listened to me, and the officer was happy. So again, that goes to show you that when you go to your interview, they know certain things. They already know if you have a criminal history, because again, before you get to the interview, you already went and got your fingerprints taken by US immigration, whether you're in the US or you're outside of the US. Before your interview, you're going in for a biometrics appointment. And that appointment is where they will do your fingerprinting, take your picture, have it on file, and do the background check. So if you have any criminal history, whether in your country or outside of your country, if it's showing up in the database under your name, under your fingerprint, under your picture, they're able to pull that. So just be aware of that. So that is your tip for today. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. And if you like this video, go ahead and share it. If you know someone who needs to hear this, go ahead and share the video with them. If you like what I'm talking about, like the video. And if you're watching in a place that you can subscribe and you do not want to miss any of my uploads, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And I am Lilian Chukura. I am the lawyer and owner of Lillylegal, where we help our clients get status for themselves and for their family using the U.S. immigration law system. Thank you. Bye.